Well, we had a really good scrimmage. Maybe I'm gonna guess somewhere around 105 to 115 plays. I would guess. Hey, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Um, some things um, that were good. Dom coming back. Dom had a nice long run, maybe 50 yards or so, and him coming back was really nice to see. Um, he tackled live everything, special teams, everything. Um, I thought our D line really played well. Really played well. Um, I don't know that we got a first down the first two series with the ones versus twos and twos versus ones. Um, Offense won all, most all of, not all, but most all of situational football, whether it be second 10, play third, or third and six, play fourth, red area, low red area. Offense came back and looked really good in that time. Obviously, concerning part of the scrimmage is penalties. And this is the first time we had an SEC crew out there. And, there's some pass interference and things like that are going to happen at times. But the pre-snap penalties, we had some, and most of it was with the younger guys, but we had some pre-snap penalties with the offensive line and things of that nature. Several secondary penalties of holding that we've got to get. We made mistakes as coaches. We had 12 on the field coming out of a huddle a couple times, and so all those things we've got to get better at. But that's why you scrimmage, and we will. But overall, I thought it was really good. We did have a couple guys that got banged up out there with Sam and Nathan Bax. I don't at this time. I don't know the full extent of either one of their injuries, but they did get injured and weren't able to come back to the scrimmage. So with that, I'll answer whatever you guys got.
Could you tell us maybe specifically past game what you liked, what you liked out of the
Well, our
and then
protections got to get better. We got to give him more time. Um, Devin Manuel was not. He didn't play today. He's out for maybe another, I don't know, 2 to 3, 4 days, something like that. But our pass protection, it wasn't obviously Chambly stepped in, did a nice job, but they got some pretty good pass rushers over there, and we've got to get better there. Tesla certainly stood out. He catches everything, and really good player. But other than that, without watching the tape, I don't know. There were some threes. Tyrus Washington made several catches today. Um, Kyle, I have to give you some stats. I can't really recall a lot of guys making several catches other than that. But the passing game, I think it was really we didn't protect very good as well as we need to.
talked up the D front. So who did you see flashing from among that group?
Well, there's a lot of them. Sevens, he's hard to block. Teddy got flash was Torian Carter. He was back there quite a little bit today, and Eric and well, a bunch of them. 46. Um, they played hard. They played well today, and Deke basically had a 4-man rotation going on, and he's got 4. He really got 9. With Nico. Nico had a good scrimmage too. He got 9 guys in the goal over there, and I'm talking about 8 today because we held Tank. We held Book out today. Nothing big. I think they'll be ready to go by Monday, but we held him today.
What do you think of your linebackers out there today?
Yeah, I thought Jaheim Thomas made a lot of plays. Crook, Pooh got an ankle, so he didn't play today. But I thought those two, obviously Greer made some plays. I tell you who shined a little bit today that is coming on is Sanford. Sanford made several plays today, and obviously Spence. But I think they played pretty good. I thought the defense as a whole played well. problem is we got too many penalties in the secondary. We were giving the offense defensively. We were just giving first downs, and that had to been maybe 4 or 5 different penalties. Now you look at that, and the world's not freaking coming to an end, guys. You're talking about the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. I'm not talking about just the 1s and all the guys that's going to play every snap, but we had too many penalties back there. We got to clean that up.
Injury, is that anything concerning? Who, Paul?
Oh, no. He matter of fact, he got a slight MCL is what he's got. But he probably, if we was playing a game, he'd be playing today, but we weren't. So.
Is it good to have these penalties so you can talk about them?
I talked to him, Trey, after practice, because, I don't know, 2 years ago we had, remember we had a lot of penalties our first game, and then it kind of started going down and all that kind of stuff. I think it actually, with the scrimmaging and the tackling and all that kind of stuff comes, you see more. We live tackled punt and punt return and kickoff today. I've never done that since I've been here. But I don't know how you tell who's going to be your best guy. It's scary because you don't want injuries, but you got to find the guy. 16, he can one. Those guys, they can return punts and kickoffs, and they look really good today. But yes, I think it is a good thing because I told the guys, I said, call it as close as you possibly would in a game. We need this. We need to be able to show penalties and just have a real level and say why and teach them, things of that nature. So, yes, obviously, I was disappointed that we had the pre-snap ones. The ones on the secondary, that's just simply, to me, coaching and teaching that we can correct. The other thing is mental, and we ought to be better than that. We got to do a better job coaching too. On the pre-snap things too. We've got to be better there too.
Max, I assume continuing to work at nickel or with the corner slot opposite McLaughlin. How are things shaking out there?
Well, Nudie had a good day. Jaheim had a good day. 25, had a good day. And Braxton, those are probably our 4 right now. Moving snacks, those are probably our 4 guys. And really what I wanted to see today is I wanted to see about 45 to 40 to 50 reps of the guys playing their position. Now, we could have maybe moved some different guys here, like on the O-line. We got to figure out if Andrew Chambly's, right now the second team left tackle. And I can't answer that until, I look at it. Are we going to move somebody over there for him? I thought he played pretty good. So, but today was about finding them corners to see if we can leave snacks at Hall, to be perfectly honest with you. And at least for a long time in the scrimmage, I think, we found them because there wasn't really a whole lot happening offensively. That's including run and pass. Third down was a little bit different story. We got some big physical receivers, they can shove around and move around some guys as well. And Tesla and Armstrong are that way, and Broden's a big, tall guy. So they had a little bit more success on third down at that point. But, I think it is probably a good thing.
Can I ask you about Singletary and Walcott in secondary? You kind of answered Singletary, but how did Walcott look out there today?
He looked good to me. Now, he was a little banged up going into it, but down in the red area, that his job was to fill the A gap. And I promise you, he did. He was sitting back there, and they opened it up. It really a B gap, but they opened it up, and here he came. It's hard to be a transfer kid and come in and earn the respect of a team like he has. We've got some other guys done that too, but he's got a special personality, but he'll rock you now, and he showed it today.
But settled in at safety because with snacks, maybe moving dog. Because you talked about you might have to play both. He told me the other day he played defensive end if you put him there, but he's going to play safety probably for you.
Well, again, just as I didn't want to play anybody today 2 positions. So when they came to me and they started talking about how we're going to play the players, because you have to figure that out before you ever go out there, because you have to give them it's opportunity. You have to give them the opportunity at a position to win the position. And at first it was, him going to hog and then playing some corner. And I said, oh, no. We got to figure out if he's the hog. And Jay Lou made a nice interception today too, but we got to find that out. So I don't really know what I think about that yet because I haven't watched the tape, but I would assume the Snacks had a good day at the hog, and that's the only place he played. And we know we can play corner eventually down the road if we need it.
Pretty good move the last couple of days.
Yeah. The street's valuable, because he can play center, he can play guard today. We're trying to see what Maury Wiggins can do. But, he starts on special teams, just really valuable guy. And I know we all know I put him on scholarship, but he earned that. And I don't announce it because, there's other kids on our team that would like to have one too. And, I really don't need no more videos of me, giving out a scholarship to a kid. So I can get some likes and some retweets. I ain't into that. So I just called him and gave him a scholarship.
Coach, you mentioned Dominique Johnson with the.
What'd he say? Yeah, that's why I'm not on it very often. But thank you. Yeah, I still don't know what he said, but I get it. Thank you.
You mentioned Dom with the big run and as a bright spot. Can you talk a little bit about the rest of the run game on both sides of the ball?
Our Dub, man, special player, and he made some special runs today. Some there was something there, and some there wasn't, and he made something out of nothing. I mean, it's hard to tackle, obviously, Rocket, I don't know what he had. 50 yards rushing or something like that, somewhere in there. But Rocket had a good day too. But Dom stood out, and RW stood out. Rocket had a good day. It's just, that's what we expect out of him. But
you did the special team stuff. How did Max Fletcher look?
Punted the heck out of the ball. We had one with the twos. We had one bad punt all day, and the rest of them they were booming that thing. And again, we make all our field goals except for one. The first one, what was it? Ford misses his first field goal, and then after that we went either 8 for 1 or 9 for 1. I can't remember if we kicked 9 or 10. I know we kicked at least 9, and none of them were really short. And Ford made his. Cam missed his first one. We had a little bit of bobble on the hole. But at the end of the scrimmage, we put 13 seconds, one timeout. We were on the 46-yard line, and we got up to the 40. Called timeout, and Cam came in there and busted a 58-yarder. It could have went 68. He knocked the heck out of that ball.
I think I saw on y'all posted on video that he had a 60-yarder this week. Do you just feel like
I didn't post it, but
yes, I said y'all. I mean, the football.
So, that's like read whatever.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah. But I mean, do you feel like he's showing a lot of good strength in camp in terms of range?
I can't believe the guy's leg. He's just a little bitty fella. But man, he can kick it. But I'll tell you what, he's fast too. So maybe we have his fake with him. But he's fast and he's powerful, and he's kicking good. He's hitting them, and he's got a leg, and he's earned the kickoff spot too, So
this really started before you came back, but the defensive line coach job has been a little bit of a revolving door. Deeks. First time in a long time, you got a guy going in for a second year. How important do you think that is? Torian was saying maybe it was yesterday, that was important to have his position coach back. And just what do you think about how Deke's doing?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. But if the position coach can't change his room, and he's still back, then he's still got a room that he ain't changed. You know what I mean? And they can like him all they want, but if we ain't changing that room, then it's hard to like a guy because he's probably not going to be there. So Deke went in and he changed that room, and more importantly, like Torian and Landon and those guys that are back, Eric Gregory, he knows how to blend the new guys with the old guys. Deke handles problems in the room. He can recruit to his room, but he's just a really good coach, really good dude, really good recruiter.
Sometimes, but I don't think anybody's talked about the quarterbacks. So,
yeah, I think you're right. Didn't Malachi have a long touchdown throw? Who was that to? Dad's fast now. I mean, he's sparked a little bit here over the last few days, but KJ played well. Like I say, I don't know that we had a whole lot of time early, but when he got time, he threw the ball accurate and did a nice job. He had a touchdown down the red area. I called back because they tagged him. He got all mad at me, said that ain't gonna, they ain't tackling me on that. And he's probably right, and I was wrong, but we went ahead and went 3rd and 3 anyway. But he ran the offense well. He's a veteran. I tell you, you didn't ask about Friday, but Friday he threw the ball as well as I'd ever seen him throw. Just crazy accuracy. And he did, when he had time to throw today, he did one heck of a job. And then Jacoby had some sparks. I think Jacoby's going to be a guy that you'll see being a much better player when you have to tackle him. He can run over 21 miles an hour, but he's got an incredible arm and was very accurate as well. And then Fortin came in. He was the third that came in. And maybe statistically, Fortin might have had as good a day as any of them did. And then Malachi had a big throw to Daz and another one too down on the sideline. I can't remember. There's another one to Daz. Both of them were to him. But I thought they ran the offense well. I thought they were in control of it. And I thought they were accurate and smart with it. I think we had one interception. Is that correct? And that was after I blew it dead because I thought we had a sack there. But Jay Will did have that nice interception.
Sam, you've mentioned Tyrus Washington a couple of times this week, the guy that's making plays and catches. Mm-hmm. How is he coming on, and how much can he help you?
He's gonna help us. I mean, he's I think we've got a pretty good tight end room. I think when you look at Francis and Luke and Gomes and Tyrus and Bags, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get in 12 personnel. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to get on the field. But Tyrus has made some hard catches. He's getting better at his blocking. Got a great attitude and playing hard. But the thing that I'm noticing more is he's getting open and catching contested passes.
Going back to Binion, what's his ceiling? Where have you maybe seen him lately?
Right now he's in shape, so he's faster, more confident. And I think him getting the offensive player of the game and the Liberty Bowl helped his confidence as well. I don't think he or us see him as a 3 or I think we just see him as when he's in the game, there's some good things going to happen. But I think the most he's grown is just in his confidence and knowledge of the game of football and the expectations of what SEC football is all about. He's done a really good job. He's a good player now. He's a really good player.
Something a couple of days ago about Bo Limmer playing at a really high level.
Yeah.
Can you kind of discuss that move that he's made to center and what he's done so well?
That's hard. A lot of times when I was the O-line coach, a lot of times to get a kid on the field faster, you put him at guard because he doesn't have to make all the calls. They touch the ball as much as the quarterback does every play. And responsible for that snap. The other thing you got to look at is the guy's this far off of you versus, probably a yard and because the guards can get back off the ball. So much more difficult place to play center than it is to guard. So I think his transition from playing guard, understanding the offense, understanding technique, and then going to center. A lot of people can't do it, but he certainly has. I think part of it is he wants to. I think he thinks that'll help the team and help him in the NFL draft, which both of those things are true. But for him to go, a year ago into Liberty Bowl with no reps at center and not have a bad snap, and Lord knows he played a lot of snaps in that game, tells you a lot about his maturity and just his athletic ability. I think, I've coached, I don't know how many, maybe 6, 7, 8, I don't know, centers has been drafted, and he's right up there with any of them.
Well, the extent of Mbake's action, are you able to say it was an upper body, lower body? Any details on that?
I don't know. I'm going to comment whenever I find out about it. Thank you.
Coach, where were the coordinators today? Was it experimental or
No, they's both up. We was trying to. We had the whole graphic of how many headsets and we had them placed on. Well, and that's another thing too. That's kind of a dry run of is this really what we want on a Saturday? But we ran it just as if we were playing Western Carolina.
And with Dominic, did he get as much run as the other backs? And did he have the brace on? And how long is that brace going to be on? Is there a target date?
I don't know about the brace. He had the brace on, and I'd say I don't really know Trey, but I'm gonna guess he ran an 10 times a day. He got a pretty good workout. Had another nice run too. Actually, the officials whistled him dead when he put his hand down. I think he was. I think he would have been off the races on another one too. But no, I think we going in. The distribution was about eight carries for those 4 guys, and I'm sure we got it probably for all of them.
Target date for that right?
Brace? No, I don't. I think, to be honest with you, I think he can take it off if he wants to. I don't know if he wants to or not. And on that long run, I don't know what really matters.
Yeah, what are your focal points for next week leading up to the next scrimmage?
Yeah, I still think we have a lot of battles, so we still have to watch that. I think probably by Tuesday, probably Wednesday at the latest, our install will be done. It needs to be. I mean, we got to figure out what we can run both sides of the ball to beat Western Carolina and run well, and that we know it. So next week will be a lot about nothing about Western Carolina. It'll be all about really evaluating ourselves. Like Utah, I don't know who asked me, you might have about the corners. We got to figure out who they are. Can we leave snacks there? Are we okay here? And we've still got another week to do that. You can beat somebody out during the season, but it's hard. During the season, so we're still evaluating all that. During the season, you very rarely beat a guy out. He loses his job. You know what I mean? And in free camp, you can still beat a man out. And so we're going to scrimmage again next week. And then after that, probably go another time, probably another 3 days. And then we'll start working on Western Carolina. But this week right here is about cleaning up this scrimmage, cleaning up mistakes that we had, finding out our best 11. And then more importantly, probably even after that is finding out our best 15 on both sides of the ball. And I think we're closer than I think we're pretty close of what we're doing. But hopefully somebody on this film that's younger that we weren't thinking about kind of shows out and go, hey, let's give him rep. Let's move him up a little bit, see if he can play with the 2, see if he can ready for SEC ball or not.
Like this team.
I do.
Do you like this team like we're ahead of where we were last year?
I like this team because they like each other. I like this team a lot. It's never had a team practice this well together. And they like each other. Now there's flare-ups, people get heated and all that kind of stuff. But I think like and respect, this team respects each other. The day I told them, hey, this ain't offense versus defense. Let's go compete. You got a job to do. Go do your job. And I thought we did that the best. But yes, I really do like this team. I like the looks of the team. And, we went down there and ran sprints at the end of the scrimmage, and there wasn't no heads down, all this, that, and the other. They do what we ask them to do because they believe that everything we do is for them and for their success, and that's what we're trying to do. All right, guys. Thank you.
KJ, one of the first things Sam just told us was didn't have a lot of time to pass today. Just want maybe what you thought of the first offense today.
I felt like we just came out really slow on the start of the day. So going into the week or next week, that's going to be a big emphasis for us to start fast, being able to get out on the field and move the ball and get some momentum going early. So that's the main thing we're going to focus on.
Yeah, Cam, the flip side of that was he said the D-line was really good today. Could you maybe talk about what you saw out of the front today?
Okay, I can say like all of us, we was hungry as a whole. You can tell that the chemistry is really there. We all played together. It was all on one accord. And basically we just gave a preview of how it's going to be this season.
KJ, a lot of people have been talking about the defensive line. Are you feeling them a little bit more maybe than you did last year, just in practice? You feeling the pocket a little tighter?
Of course. Each and every day they've gotten better. Our coaches have put together a great plan for those guys to be able to free those guys up and let them get a lot of one-on-one blocks going on. So, those guys are just like you said. The chemistry is good. Those guys, they work their tails off, and it's showing.
Cam, what's your impression on the offensive line? You obviously working against Braun some and Limmer and Latham. What are they doing well that's challenging you?
Well, I can say like every practice is a competition. We treat every practice like a game. And the offensive line, man, they give it to us every practice. Like Coach Pitt has a saying that, the other guy in front of you is on scholarship too. And I can tell you now that their front five, their mamas don't never have to pay or worry about college. So, yeah, they give us a run for our money every day, and we just get better as a whole. Iron sharpens iron.
KJ, we heard that Dominic Johnson had a good day, a couple big runs. What did you see from him today?
Just confident. He was really confident in his knee. Just see him come back and be able to just produce the way he did within the pass game and running the ball as well. So it's great to have him back and on full go and to show that he has a lot of confidence in his knee.
And then also, we keep hearing that Isaac Teslaw is, catching a lot of tough balls. What have you seen from him, and how's that connection between you and him going?
It's going really good. A guy like Isaac, really strong hands. He when the ball's in the air, he treated it as it's his ball. It's 100% his. So having a guy like that on the outside and inside some too. Just being able to put the ball in tight areas and knowing that he'll come up with catch is pretty amazing.
Maybe both of you guys can take this, but Sam said Jeff Coates is a guy that maybe flashed a little bit today. Just what's his skill set and KJ, if you maybe had any runs with him?
Well, I can tell you one thing about Tree, man. Tree is he's a hard worker. Tree is mainly he's good in both run and pass. Tree comes off that edge and he's flying, man. So I can tell you, Tree is he's one heck of a player, most definitely.
Like Cam said, he comes out the edge. Really, he's flying to the ball. He got a nose for the ball, run and pass. Great guy. Like you said, he's a hardworking guy. It's always a competition with him. He's self-motivated a lot of times, and having a guy like him on the edge is really a problem.
KJ, when Dan was here before, he used the tight ends probably more than Kendall did. But what have you seen catching the ball from the tight ends? Have you liked what you've seen from that?
I have. Those guys, being able to have an offense in a system where we have rules and boundaries, and also giving the tight ends a little freedom to work some moves and showcase their skill level and their talent. So, in this offense, they've done a great job taking it on and being able to come out each and every day at practice and work those moves and freeing up, creating mismatches as well. So just having an offense like this to free those guys up.
Before I asked you, if Marquise looked like someone who plays college ball, but how's his hands? Is he catching the ball pretty well out there?
He is. He has really big hands and strong hands as well.
On the defensive tackle rotation inside, how do you feel like the competition making everybody better there?
Yeah, most definitely. It's a competition. We're competing every day for the defensive tackle spot. I feel like right now we have a good 3 deep. We can rotate a lot, and no matter who's on the field, we both groups, all 3 of them, we both are specialists in pass and run, so we could handle both.
Hey Jay, what stood out to you when you think about the secondary today? Guys that maybe made some tight places for you to throw the football and everything.
I mean, it's like that each and every day we come out to practice. I mean, those guys are always playing their hearts out, competing at a very high level. With our guys on the offense side of the ball, there's always iron sharpening iron, which is going to help us and help us grow in some areas that we might see in the season, as far as man-to-man coverage and different things of that nature. So it's always iron sharpening iron each and every day at practice. So I mean, I love to see that from the secondary.
The opposite side, Tesla has been mentioned, but what's it like right now having to work with? It seems like there's a lot of receivers and tight ends that are vying for snaps, and what's it like for you trying to figure out who's going to be kind of the go-to targets right now before we head into the season?
I mean, right now, I mean, we on day 8, so it's kind of hard to say who's going to be the go-to guy right now. I mean, all those guys are competing at a very high level. They're taking it each and every day personal to go out there and be the best they can be that day. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say who will be a go-to receiver right now or tight end right now.
Yeah, I think I heard Sam say this right, that there was obviously you guys don't get hit, the quarterbacks don't. There was a play, or I guess you were scrambling, and he called it dead, and you were a little upset and said, well, I would have been tackled. And he said he probably wouldn't have happened in the game either. I just wonder what you know about that.
I knew he was going to blow it dead. So, I mean, me and him always joking about those situations, those scenarios. So, I knew he was going to do it. We was down there in red area. I knew he was going to end up doing it. So, we just laughed it off and got back to the next play.
Daniel, we're talking to Deke Adams in here. It was yesterday. I don't know. I get mixed up on which day it was. But, he's the first D line coach in a while here that's been back for his second year. Dorian was saying that was real important to him because he's had a lot of different position guys. I know you're not quite as old, but what do you think about Coach Adams and what he does well and having him back?
Man, Coach Adams he's a very good coach. I can say this is my third year being here. So my first year I had a different one. So he's a returner for my second year here, and Coach Adams has developed me a lot. He's made me a better player all around, and most importantly, made me a better person.
Being like at 3 p.m. Kickoff, so the heat of the day, the depth you've talked about, and other guys have talked about that too. How important is that for the D lineman, to have some good depth when it's probably gonna be playing in the heat of the day?
It's going to be very important because with the heat and stuff, we can stay fresh because we have the ability and opportunity to rotate, and everyone can stay fresh.
When you come in here, a lot of times you're kind of business. I see you out on the field and you're joking with people and kind of riling people up and stuff. Is that something that you kind of feel like you need to turn on when you're out there? Like, what's your way that you lead this team? Is that something you consciously think of?
I don't think about it. I mean, it's just me. I'm just being me. I mean, I'm in my element when I'm out there. So guys feed off my energy and my mentality and my approach and my preparation. So I'm just being me at the end of the day.
And with Rashad Dubinion, Coach, you talked about him really starting to turn it up. What have you seen from him, the biggest improvement last year? That's where he is right now.
Rashad, I mean, he's a special athlete. I mean, he can do it all, and also just the way his preparation, the way he's approached this camp. He's taking a lot of reps more serious, taking everything more serious. Each and every day he come out, it's a competition in their running back room as well. So iron sharpening iron in their room. They all want to see each other get better. So they are just pushing each other in their room. So just to their full potential. So he's doing a really good job so far.
Cam, we were talking about you the other day, and Torium was saying you can basically do it a lot of different ways: power, finesse. When it comes to clubbing people and doing all different things like that, how much emphasis do you put on that, like in the off season and watching NFL guys, things of that nature?
Right. So I put a huge emphasis on it because I know last year, like I said before, I solidified myself mainly in the run game. And I knew that this season, if I wanted to take the next step and be where I want to be, I have to work on my pass rush. And that's mainly all I focused on this past offseason, working with different trainers, watching different NFL players, and just mainly getting more tools in my toolbox.